General Motors was transmitting speed, hard braking, acceleration, and location data from millions of trucks, sometimes every 3 seconds. One driver opened her LexisNexis file and found 603 entries from her Chevy Camaro. Her insurance went up 80%. She never signed up for anything. That file exists for every modern connected truck on the road today. The question the DM5 will never answer is, what does yours say? Temeika Clay never asked to be part of an experiment. She drove a late-model Chevy Camaro, paid her bills, and trusted that the Smart Driver feature was just another dashboard widget. But when her insurance renewal arrived, the numbers didn't add up. The premium had jumped by 80%, an extra $960 a year, without a single accident or claim. She filed a request to LexisNexis, the data broker named on her insurer's paperwork. The file they sent back was 603 lines long. Every entry was a snapshot of her driving, speed, hard brakes, acceleration spikes, location, captured and relayed, not once a week, not once a day, but as often as every 3 seconds. Clay's story isn't an outlier. Ken Dahl, a business owner in Ohio, received a 258-page report from the same data broker. His 2021 Silverado, equipped with the same Smart Driver system, had logged 640 trips in a single year. The report listed over 1,000 driving events, each one timestamped, geolocated, and scored. When the insurer processed the file, Dahl's premium rose by 21%. No accidents, no tickets, just data translated into dollars. These aren't anecdotes, they're documented in the FTC's own exhibits. Clay's 80% hike and Dahl's 258-page dossier are both tied directly to the hidden data pipeline running from GM's telematics unit to LexisNexis and Verisk, then straight into the insurance industry's pricing models. The Smart Driver system, marketed as a free safety tool, was designed to collect everything: vehicle speed, hard braking events, rapid acceleration, seatbelt use, even radio stations, every 3 seconds, every trip. The data wasn't just for the driver, it was packaged and sold. The pipeline ran without real consent, without clear disclosure, and without any practical way for drivers to opt out. The fine print on the onboarding screen was the only notice most people ever got. Michigan's Department of Insurance and Financial Services confirmed that insurers rely on this third-party data for rate setting. The state's official warning is that consumers have little recourse when their driving history is sold behind the scenes. In Oregon, a privacy group sent out 400 data requests to LexisNexis and Verisk, and none received a reply. The system is opaque by design. This isn't a theory. The federal government investigated it. The FTC's final order bans GM from sharing this data for 5 years and requires explicit, affirmative consent for 20. The order confirms what the files already showed: real people are paying real money for a system they never signed up for. The betrayal isn't just about privacy, it's about dollars siphoned quietly from bank accounts, justified by a file the driver never saw. The harm is real, and the machine is still running. The only question left is who allowed it, and what, if anything, can actually stop it. The federal file on General Motors and OnStar is not a rumor. It is a matter of public record. On January 14, 2026, the Federal Trade Commission issued a final order in Docket 242-352. 5 years. No sharing of precise location or driving behavior data with consumer reporting agencies. 20 years. No data collection or use without explicit, affirmative consent. Each violation carries a civil penalty of up to $51,744. The order spells out, line by line, what the company did and what the government now forbids. The complaint, filed in January 2025, described a data pipeline running at 3-second intervals. Vehicle sensors fed a telematics control unit which handed off raw driving events, speed, hard brakes, rapid acceleration, GPS coordinates, seatbelt status, even radio stations. That stream traveled by cellular modem to GM servers, then directly to LexisNexis and Verisk. The brokers reformatted the data for insurers, who used it to set premiums. The FTC's analysis called the practice deceptive, citing onboarding screens that buried consent in fine print and marketing language that misled drivers about the real purpose of the system. The order bars GM from sending any such data to LexisNexis or Verisk for 5 years and requires every future collection or transfer to be based on a clear, informed opt-in. The financial stakes are spelled out in GM's own filings. In its third quarter 2025 earnings release, the company disclosed a $300 million litigation accrual tied directly to the Federal Trade Commission investigation. The Form 10-Q, filed October 21, 2025, lists the same figure under legal and regulatory matters, stating that the amount reflects the anticipated costs of settlement and remediation. This is not a hypothetical risk. It is a booked liability, confirmed in the SEC file and referenced again in a February 2026 8-K, which announced the rollout of a consumer portal for drivers to access, delete, or disable their data, just as the FTC order requires. GM is not alone. Honda paid a $632,500 penalty after the California Privacy Protection Agency found unlawful telematics sharing with brokers. Ford's partnership with LexisNexis and Verisk, documented in 2022 and renewed in 2024, covers millions of vehicles. BMW, Toyota, Hyundai, and Kia are all under federal investigation for similar practices. The FTC's own language makes the scope clear. Any transfer of precise geolocation data to a consumer reporting agency, even for aggregate analytics, falls within the prohibition. The order's enforcement is not symbolic. GM must maintain a consumer portal, update it quarterly, and retain compliance records for 2 decades. Violations trigger civil penalties, with the FTC reserving the right to increase fines for repeated breaches. The legal backbone is reinforced by agency memoranda that clarify that every future collection, every data transfer, every consent must be explicit, documented, and available for audit. The pipeline is not theory or speculation. It is mapped, named, and now federally regulated. Other manufacturers have not escaped scrutiny. Honda's fine, Ford's data deals, and ongoing investigations into Toyota, BMW, Hyundai, and Kia show that the architecture is industry-wide. This was never a one-off scandal. It was the factory system doing exactly what it was built to do: collect, transmit, and monetize the most granular details of how, when, and where people drive. The federal order does not just confirm the harm, it documents the machine, the pipeline, and the dollar cost, all in the language of the law. Every piece of the surveillance pipeline is documented down to the hardware. The story begins under the dashboard, where the SAE J1962 port, better known as OBD2, waits for a scan tool or a factory plug. Since 1996, every light-duty truck sold in the United States has shipped with this 16-pin connector as a matter of federal law. But the OBD2 port is only the entry point. Behind it sits the Telematics Control Unit, or TCU, a sealed black box wired to the vehicle's heartbeat. It listens to the engine, the brakes, the GPS antenna, the seatbelt latch. Every 3 seconds, the TCU packages up a new snapshot: speed, acceleration, location, and more. The TCU hands that bundle to a cellular modem hardwired to the truck's electrical system. The modem transmits over LTE or 5G, sending encrypted packets to the manufacturer's cloud servers. There, each trip is tagged to a unique vehicle ID, stored in a data lake, and queued for export. The system is always on, always collecting, whether or not the driver has any idea what's being sent. From the cloud, the data moves to the brokers. GM's agreements with LexisNexis and Verisk, confirmed in federal exhibits, lay out the next steps. Raw telemetry leaves the manufacturer's servers and lands in the aggregator's databases. These companies act as clearinghouses, reformatting the stream into risk profiles, trip histories, and behavioral scores. The brokers then expose this data through partner APIs, digital pipelines that insurers can query in real time. Underwriting systems pull these files, sometimes hundreds of pages long, and use them to recalculate premiums. The process is silent, automatic, and invisible to the driver. This architecture is not unique to GM. Ford's data-sharing partnership with LexisNexis and Verisk began in 2022 and expanded in 2024, covering millions of vehicles. Toyota's system follows the same blueprint. A 2024 Consumer Reports survey found that 15 major automakers collect and transmit telematics data, most under vague or hidden consent screens. The hardware is standardized, the cloud infrastructure is mature, and the broker APIs are industry fixtures. Once a truck is built with this chain in place, opting out is a myth. The pipeline exists to be used. From sensor to insurer, the entire system runs on clockwork. A driver's habits, location, and even seatbelt clicks are captured, relayed, repackaged, and sold every 3 seconds, every trip, every day. The evidence is not abstract. It is written into partnership contracts, confirmed by federal complaints, and reflected in the insurance bills of real people. This is the machinery behind the betrayal, a technical system built to harvest, transmit, and monetize the details of daily life at a cadence no human could ever track alone. Insurance pricing once depended on broad categories: age, zip code, claims history. Now it runs on a stream of data points piped in from the car itself. Underwriting algorithms digest speed, braking, mileage, and time of day, all packaged by data brokers like LexisNexis and Verisk. Each variable is scored, weighted, and added to the risk model. The process is silent, but the impact is concrete. A single week of late-night driving or a few hard stops can trigger a rate hike, all without an accident or a ticket. The data that feeds these systems is rarely volunteered in any meaningful way. Consent is often buried in onboarding screens, written in legalese, or enabled by default. Most drivers never see the opt-in, and even fewer understand what is being shared. Michigan's Department of Insurance and Financial Services issued a public advisory in June 2025, warning that third-party telematics data is now a staple of underwriting, and that consumers have almost no way to challenge or correct the files. The agency's statement was blunt. Insurers are relying on external data streams, and state oversight lags far behind the technology. Attempts to shine a light on the process have been stonewalled. In Oregon, a privacy group conducted a large-scale experiment, filing 400 data access requests with LexisNexis and Verisk. Not a single request received a reply. The system is designed for opaque operation. Regulators can issue advisories, but the pipeline remains closed to scrutiny. The variables that shape a premium, speed, mileage, harsh braking, time of day, are fed directly from the vehicle, transformed by proprietary algorithms, and locked inside a file drivers rarely see. Actuaries and risk managers defend the practice as a refinement of old models, arguing that more data means more accurate pricing. But the reality is a collapse of transparency. Drivers are rated not just on claims, but on every movement, every turn, every time they leave the driveway. The regulatory framework is not built for this level of surveillance. The result is a system where the hardware itself, installed at the factory, decides who pays what and why. Opt-out forms and privacy settings are a mirage. The real escape lies in the machine you drive, hardware built before the pipeline existed, immune by design, and silent by default. Under the hood of a truck built before 1995, the story changes completely. There is no telematics control unit waiting to listen, no cellular modem stitched into the wiring, no GPS antenna tucked under the roofline. Pop the hood on a 1993 Dodge or a 1988 Ford, and you are greeted by a mechanical injection pump, often a Bosch P7100, feeding fuel with nothing but gears and pressure. The only electronics in sight might be a glow plug controller or a simple alternator. There is no data bus, no networked engine control module, no place to plug in a scan tool that could dial out to a cloud server. Look beneath the dash. Instead of the standardized 16-pin OBD2 port found in every truck built after 1996, you will see either a proprietary connector or nothing at all. The Environmental Protection Agency OBD2 mandate, which took effect for the 1996 model year, required every vehicle to expose its vital signs through a universal port. But the trucks built before that rule, every one of them, run on older, analog wiring. Their diagnostic ports, if present, are manufacturer-specific and physically incompatible with modern scan tools or plug-in telematics dongles. There is no pathway for a broker or insurer to tap into the engine, the brakes, or the trip history. On the roof, there is no antenna mast for cellular or GPS, no shark fin, no dome, no hidden puck. The only signals leaving the truck are AM/FM radio waves. The wiring harnesses terminate at analog gauges and mechanical switches. No SIM card, no embedded modem, no handshake with a back-end server. The vehicle's entire nervous system is local. Every function, fuel, ignition, speed, is managed by levers, cables, and relays. A mechanic can point to every component. The fuel pump is mechanical, the throttle is a cable, the speedometer is driven by a gear in the transmission. There is no TCU to intercept signals, no network bridge to transmit them, and no software to aggregate or export driving behavior. The absence is not a setting tucked away in a menu. It is a physical reality, no black box, no uplink, no data trail. This is not a matter of opting out. It is a matter of what the machine is and what it is not. The immunity is structural, baked into the wiring and the steel. These trucks cannot participate in the telematics insurance pipeline because the pipeline simply does not exist for them. The checklist is tactile. No 16-pin port under the dash, no antenna on the roof, no electronic pump under the hood. The design itself is the escape route. 7 trucks remain outside the digital dragnet, not by accident, but because of how they were built. Each is a product of a time before cars became rolling computers. Their immunity is structural: no telematics, no GPS, no networked engine control, no handshake with insurers or data brokers. These machines cannot be conscripted into the system. The 1989 to 1993 Dodge Ram 2500 and 3500, powered by the 5.9-liter Cummins 12-valve diesel, is the standard bearer. Its Bosch P7100 injection pump is all gears and pressure, untouched by software. No OBD2 port, just a proprietary connector. Auction prices in 2026 run from $4,500 for a farm-worn workhorse to $9,000 for a clean Survivor. The inspection is simple: no roof antenna, no OnStar badge, analog gauges across the dash. The 1988 to 1994 Ford F250 and F350 with the 7.3-liter IDI diesel predates the Power Stroke and the electronics that followed. Fuel is delivered by a Stanadyne rotary pump. The only computer might be a glow plug controller. These trucks sell for $3,500 to $7,500. Look for a heavy Ford grille, no roof hardware, and a dashboard run by cables and levers. Chevrolet and GMC C/K series trucks from 1982 to 1993, especially those with the 6.2-liter diesel, share the same mechanical DNA. No telematics, no data bus, no scan tool port. Expect to pay $2,500 to $6,000. The Tel is a cab with analog wiring, no digital displays, no GPS antenna. The 1979 to 1986 Ford F250 with its 6.9-liter IDI diesel is fully mechanical, no electronic fuel injection, no OBD. Prices run $2,000 to $5,000. Inspection is straightforward: analog speedometer, cable throttle, wiring that ends at relays. Dodge Power Wagons from 1973 to 1993, especially those with the 5.9-liter Cummins, have no ECU, no GPS, no modem. They command $3,000 to $8,000. Look for the Power Wagon badge and a clean roofline. Military surplus M35 and M809 trucks, $3,500 to $7,000, are analog in every sense. Chevy CUCV from 1984 to 1987 with the 5.7-liter V8 sell for $3,500 to $8,500. Look for military decals, no antenna mast, wiring that stops at the firewall. Immunity is physical. These trucks do not speak. Today, federal orders name the pipeline, factory telemetry, data brokers, real victims. No speculation required. For every driver facing an unexplained annual increase of $800, the culprit is now documented. This is not about opting out, it is about choosing a machine that cannot testify against you. In an industry engineered for disclosure, mechanical silence is not nostalgia. It is a line in the sand. Drop your thoughts below. What would you drive?